Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm excited to be here today to talk about Power Apps governance and automated naming conventions. The title of our presentation is Power Apps Governance and Automated Naming Conventions, with a focus on ensuring our app development is scalable, maintainable, and collaborative. Over the course of this session, we'll explore best practices for governing Power Apps and how automated naming conventions can help us stay organized and efficient. Let's get started. Let's talk about the importance of Power Apps governance and automated naming conventions. Effective governance really simplifies managing your apps, especially as your team grows larger. It helps ensure that everything stays organized, scalable, and that teamwork remains smooth and efficient. One of the key benefits for growing teams is implementing automated naming conventions. These set clear and consistent rules for naming app components, which makes collaboration much easier and helps reduce errors. When everyone follows the same naming standards, it's much simpler to locate and manage different parts of your apps. Power Apps governance also plays a crucial role in keeping your apps well-organized, maintainable, and scalable over time. It provides a structured approach to managing all stages of app development and deployment, making sure everything runs smoothly as your organization expands. In summary, good governance and naming conventions are essential for supporting growth, fostering collaboration, and ensuring your apps remain reliable and easy to manage in the long run. Let's talk about why naming conventions really matter in Power Apps governance. When we use standardized names, it makes managing and scaling our apps much easier. Think of it like having a clear labeling system. This helps us find and update components quickly without wasting time searching around. Clear names also save us time when fixing issues because there's no guesswork involved. Plus, if we want to add new features later on, well-organized names make that process smoother and quicker. Another key point is that consistent naming creates a shared language across our team. Everyone understands what each part of the app is right away, which improves collaboration and reduces confusion. So overall, good naming conventions aren't just about tidiness. They're a crucial part of efficient, scalable, and collaborative app development. Now, let's discuss some common pitfalls we encounter with naming conventions in Power Apps. One major issue is the omission of purpose in component names. When we don't clearly specify what a component is for, it makes maintenance much more difficult down the line. Without clear names, identifying and updating the right parts becomes a real challenge. Another pitfall is skipping standards, especially in large teams. When everyone doesn't follow a consistent naming approach, miscommunication happens, and delays can occur because team members are unsure about what each component does. This inconsistency really hampers teamwork and efficiency. Unclear or ambiguous names are also problematic. If a name doesn't clearly describe its function, it can cause confusion among team members later. This slows down collaboration and ultimately delays project progress. And finally, leaving default names like text input 1 or button 2 is a common mistake. These names don't provide any meaningful information about their purpose, which can lead to confusion and inefficiency when trying to understand or troubleshoot the app. Overall, establishing clear, purposeful, and standardized naming conventions is crucial for smooth development and effective teamwork. Let's take a closer look at what good naming looks like in Power Apps. As you can see, using consistent prefixes helps developers quickly understand the purpose of each element within the app. This practice makes it much easier to navigate and modify your app over time. Now, why are naming conventions so important? Well, if you look at this example, where we have a condition like if txt user role, text equals admin, the prefix txt clearly indicates that this is a text input. Similarly, scr would denote a screen. These prefixes improve both readability and maintainability, especially as your app grows in complexity. Here's a good naming example. If text input 1 text equals admin, then navigate to screen 2 or show an access denied notification. Notice how the prefixes here make it straightforward to understand what each element is doing. On the other hand, the bad nomming example lacks these clear prefixes. Without them, the code becomes harder to read and maintain, especially for someone new to the project or when you're revisiting your app after some time. In summary, consistent and meaningful nomming conventions are a key part of good governance in Power Apps. They help keep your app organized, understandable, and easier to update as needed. Let's take a closer look at the benefits of automated validation, specifically within Power Apps governance and automated nomming conventions. First, this approach saves a significant amount of time and effort by flagging issues immediately during development or deployment. What this means is that developers can focus more on building features rather than spending time troubleshooting validation errors, which can be quite time-consuming. Additionally, catching errors early helps prevent bugs and confusion before an app even goes live, making the whole process smoother and more reliable. This proactive error detection really boosts the overall quality of our applications. Another key benefit is that automated tools check nomming rules consistently, removing the reliance on memory or manual reviews. This consistency ensures that we follow a standardized approach to validation across all our projects, which is crucial for maintaining quality and organization. In summary, automated validation not only saves time and effort, but also enhances reliability and ensures consistency, supporting our goal of building better, more maintainable apps. Let's talk about the steps to enforce your nomming standards effectively. First, it's crucial to fix any non-compliant names promptly. Addressing issues quickly helps maintain consistency and ensures everyone follows the established rules. The sooner you correct a nomming deviation, the smoother your governance processes will run. Next, generating reports that highlight names breaking the rules is a key part of maintaining oversight. These reports give you clear visibility into areas that need attention, making it easier to target corrections and keep standards intact. To assist with this, you can leverage compliance tools, scripts, or automated scans that check your Power Apps for adherence to nomming conventions. These tools are invaluable because they help identify deviations automatically, saving you time and reducing errors. Finally, establishing clear nomming rules for your team is fundamental. Writing down and communicating these rules ensures everyone understands what's expected. When your team knows the standards, it's much easier to enforce them consistently across all your Power Apps. In this slide, I want to walk you through a real-world example of how validation reports work in Power Apps governance and automated nomming conventions. Here, we see that the validation process plays a crucial role in ensuring that all nomming conventions are followed properly before deployment. For instance, you can see the validation completion indicator, which confirms whether the nomming standards have been met. In this example, there's a button labeled Error, does not follow nomming convention, indicating that this particular item needs correction prior to deployment. This helps us quickly identify what needs to be fixed. On the other hand, some items, like the username and home screen, are marked as OK, meaning they meet the standards and don't require any changes. Once the validation is successful, the system provides a sample output, showing us that this report helps us identify and correct nomming issues efficiently. Overall, this validation overview highlights how automated checks contribute to maintaining consistency and quality across our Power App solutions, making sure everything is aligned before it goes live. Now, let's look at how we can use PowerShell and the Power Platform CLI to ensure proper governance and nomming conventions for our Power Apps. First, you'll want to export your Power Apps solution using the Power Platform CLI. This step is crucial because it gives you access to all the necessary files to work with. Once you have your solution exported, the next step is to unpack those solution files. By doing this, you can access individual app components like screens, labels, and controls, which allows you to inspect and modify them as needed. After unpacking, the next key step is analyzing these components. Using PowerShell scripts, you can read through the files to check the names of controls, screens, and labels. This helps identify any inconsistencies or issues with nomming early on, so you can address them before they become bigger problems. Then, you'll want to apply your predefined nomming rules to each component. Running validation scripts ensures that every element adheres to your organization's standards, maintaining consistency across your apps. Finally, it's important to generate reports based on this analysis. These reports help you catch and fix issues early, keeping your apps clean, organized, and compliant with governance policies. This proactive approach ultimately saves time and ensures quality as your Power Apps environment grows. Now, let's talk about implementing nomming checks in our pipelines. First, it's essential to integrate nomming validation scripts directly into Azure DevOps pipelines. This way, we can automatically enforce our nomming standards throughout the development process. By doing this, we ensure that nomming conventions are checked consistently every time we build, catching potential issues early on. Running validation during the build steps allows us to identify errors before they can cause bigger problems later. In addition, we can set up our pipelines so that if any nomming rules are violated, the deployment stops immediately. This safeguards our environment by making sure only applications that meet our standards go live. It's a proactive way to maintain quality and compliance. After each build, reviewing validation reports is equally important. These reports give us clear insights into how well we're adhering to nomming standards and highlight areas that need improvement. Overall, integrating validation scripts, catching errors early, safeguarding deployments, and reviewing reports all work together to keep our applications consistent, high quality, and aligned with governance policies. Now, let's look at a practical example of how we can enforce nomming conventions during our build process. This slide shows a PowerShell script designed specifically for that purpose. The idea here is that you can customize this script to match your project's unique nomming rules, ensuring consistency across your Power Apps. By integrating such scripts into your pipeline, you automate the enforcement of governance standards, reducing manual errors. The key takeaway is that automation like this helps maintain nomming discipline from the start, saving time and avoiding potential issues later. Remember, tailoring the script to your project's specific rules is crucial for it to be effective. This approach aligns with our overall goal of establishing reliable governance and consistent practices across development teams. Let's talk about documenting your nomming rules, which is a crucial part of Power Apps governance and automating your nomming conventions. First, you'll want to create a shared style guide that clearly details your nomming conventions for screens, controls, and variables. Think of this as your go-to reference that includes clear examples, like using prefixes such as TXT for text inputs or SCR for screens. This helps everyone on the team stay aligned. Next, outline your app structure within this guide. Having a well-defined structure ensures consistency across your project. It should include guidelines for organizing screens, controls, and variables effectively, making the app easier to maintain and scale over time. Another key point is comment writing tips. Good comments are essential. They improve code readability and make future updates smoother. Keep your comments concise, relevant, and aligned with your established style guide so they serve as helpful pointers rather than clutter. Accessibility is also vital. Your style guide should be easy for all team members to access, whether for onboarding new members or quick reference. Consider hosting it in a centralized location so everyone knows where to find it and can follow the same standards consistently. By establishing a shared style guide, defining your app structure, and providing clear comment writing tips, you'll create a solid foundation for maintaining quality and consistency across your Power Apps projects. Let's talk about the importance of team collaboration when it comes to nomming standards. Consistent nomming conventions really help reduce confusion and make teamwork much smoother, especially when building or maintaining apps. When everyone follows the same rules, it's much easier to understand what's what, even as projects grow more complex. This consistency also means that new team members can quickly learn the nomming rules and start contributing effectively right from the start. It's all about making onboarding faster and more efficient. Shared documentation plays a key role here too. By having clear, accessible guidelines, your team can communicate better and develop a deeper understanding of how things are organized. Altogether, these practices help streamline our development processes, enhance communication, and keep everyone on the same page, making our work more efficient and collaborative. Let's talk about the ongoing management of our naming conventions. Keeping these consistent is crucial for maintaining the overall quality of our apps and ensuring that everyone on the team is on the same page. When we manage our naming standards regularly, we reduce confusion and make collaboration much smoother. It's about creating a shared understanding that everyone can rely on. Encouraging team feedback is also a key part of this process. When team members share their perspectives, we can continuously improve our naming guide. This diversity of input really helps us develop conventions that are practical, usable, and adaptable to real-world needs. Another important point is clarity and descriptiveness. Names should always be clear, easy to read, and descriptive enough to understand the purpose at a glance. This simple step keeps the whole team aligned and avoids misinterpretation. Finally, we need to review and update our naming rules regularly. As our team grows and our apps evolve, so should our standards. Regular reviews ensure that our conventions stay relevant, effective, and supportive of ongoing development. Consistent upkeep really helps us stay organized and aligned as we move forward. Let's take a moment to look at some common questions that come up around naming automations. First, it's important to understand that automated checks run very quickly, so they don't slow down your build process. This means you get immediate feedback, which helps catch errors early, saving you time and effort in the long run. Next, when it comes to reviewing your naming conventions, it's a good idea to do this every few months. As your team and your applications evolve, your naming standards might need adjustments to stay relevant and effective. Now, what happens if a naming rule fails during deployment? The pipeline will automatically stop to prevent further issues. Plus, a report is generated so you can quickly identify and fix the problems before moving forward. This helps maintain consistency and quality across your apps. There are also many ready-made PowerShell scripts and community tools available that make automating these checks easier. You don't need to be a coding expert to leverage these tools, which can significantly streamline your process. Finally, when starting with naming conventions, it's helpful to list out your component types and assign clear prefixes. For example, using SCR for screens can help organize and identify components quickly. Establishing these prefixes early on makes managing your apps much more straightforward and keeps everything consistent across your team. Let's talk about avoiding naming errors before deployment. A proactive approach here is key. By implementing governance and automated naming conventions, we can prevent last-minute problems and avoid delays during deployment. This means we'll have a smoother, more efficient process overall. Focusing on proactive problem prevention is essential. When issues are flagged early, addressing them promptly helps keep your apps clean and reliable. It's all about maintaining the integrity of your applications from the start. Integrating naming checks directly into your deployment pipeline is a crucial step. This way, non-compliant apps are caught and blocked before they even reach deployment, ensuring only compliant applications move forward. And don't forget about frequent automated validation. Running these checks often helps catch mistakes early on. By identifying errors early, we prevent them from escalating into bigger problems later on. All of these steps work together to create a robust process that minimizes errors and makes deployment smoother and more predictable. Power Apps benefits greatly from automated naming, especially when it comes to governance. Automation makes it much easier and more reliable to manage your apps. When you have a structured approach, it helps ensure everyone follows organizational standards consistently. This means your governance becomes more dependable. By using consistent naming conventions, managing, updating, and scaling your apps becomes simpler. When components are named clearly and uniformly, it's much easier to locate and modify them later. This consistency really streamlines app management overall. Another key advantage is improved teamwork. A shared, clear naming system helps team members communicate better because everyone is on the same page. It fosters collaboration because there's less confusion about what each component is or does. It also helps minimize mistakes that could lead to bugs or confusion. When naming is consistent, the chances of errors slipping into your app's functionality are greatly reduced. And of course, automation saves you time. It reduces manual checks and guesswork, making your development process faster and more efficient. Overall, automated naming in Power Apps really supports better governance, easier management, stronger collaboration, fewer errors, and quicker development cycles. Now, let's talk about best practices for naming conventions in Power Apps. First, it's really important to keep your names easy to read and consistent across all your apps. When your naming is consistent, it makes collaboration much smoother and helps reduce confusion among team members. A key tip is to end your screen names with screen to make navigation more intuitive. When everyone can quickly identify screens, it streamlines the development and troubleshooting process. Avoid using abbreviations or short forms that might confuse your colleagues. Clear, descriptive names prevent misunderstandings and help everyone know exactly what each component does at a glance. Also, applying meaningful prefixes like TXT for text inputs, SCR for screens, and BTN for buttons is a great way to quickly identify component types. These prefixes act as quick indicators, saving time and avoiding mistakes. Finally, always aim for clear, descriptive names that clearly show each component's purpose. When names are meaningful, it's immediately obvious what each part of your app is supposed to do, which makes maintenance and updates much easier. So, in summary, consistent, clear, and meaningful naming conventions are essential for building effective, understandable Power Apps that are easy to manage over time. And that brings us to our conclusion and some key takeaways. As we've discussed, effective governance and automated naming conventions are crucial for managing Power Apps successfully. You can explore the full article at the link provided to dive deeper into strategies for improving governance. Starting early with clear naming conventions helps establish a solid foundation, leading to greater efficiency and fewer mistakes over time. It's important to review and update these standards regularly as your team grows, ensuring your governance practices stay effective and relevant. Automation tools play a vital role by catching errors early, saving you time, and preventing deployment issues, which makes app management much smoother. Ultimately, implementing automated naming conventions, along with clear rules and shared documentation, enhances collaboration and boosts overall app quality. Remember, good governance is an ongoing process, and the sooner you start, the better positioned you'll be for long-term success.